Info Télévision, c'est votre télé. C'est la télévision du vivre ensemble, votre chaîne de proximité, 24 heures sur 24.
"49 years now, Cameroonians to talk and live in unity." Certainly for some others, it's not the case because they have a lot to get back into history. They have a lot to amend. And today with our guest, we are going to honor this national day, which is the National Unity Day in the country. Would simply get back into history, like we recall to you all. And we have two main topics which will tie up with the day. Today, national unity. Can the present reconcile with the past? That's the first topic which we're going to evoke with our gentleman and a lone lady right here with us. Living together strategies and determinants. What are the strategies and determinants if we have to live together in Cameroon? All of these questions, certainly you too can participate via the 675903362. That's for direct and WhatsApp messages, 680826029. Simply for our direct messages. Meanwhile, the other number, 675903362. It's for your WhatsApp messages. Thanks a lot for being part of us. Let's open up to discover the guest. Welcome back, and I'll begin right away with Honorable Ojambeng Stephen Andong, who is a civil engineer with CPD and political affiliation. He's right here with us, member of the Northwest Regional Assembly. Honorable, good evening, happy feast, happy National Day.
Happy National Day, happy National Day to all Cameroonians, especially to the panelists. It is a wonderful day, a memorable day. When I remember the days we used to go to the field, march, and sing, I just feel like those days should come back. I want to say happy National Day to the head of state, President Paul here, and all the political leaders of Cameroon. I think they also contributed in one way or the other to make this day a best day for us.
Is a day worth celebrating?
It is. It is.
Thanks a lot for being right here with us to honor this event. Beside you, we have a Professor Tito Samuel Forn, who is the national chairman of the Cameroon's People's Party, the CPP, and member of the G20 and the initiator of NOSOCAM. Good evening, sir. Welcome.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, I say.
Okay. How are you feeling on this day?
Oh, well, for now, I'm okay.
For now, you're okay. And you have been celebrating since morning without any hitches?
Oh, no. I think I did one or two things.
Okay.
To thank God for enabling me see the day again as I've been seeing many other days.
And retracing history too, maybe?
Yeah, that's right. And to be happy that Cameroon is among other countries in the world with her sovereignty. It is not easy to have that sovereignty. Okay. So if God enables you to have, you need to give thanks to Him. So my covenant is a pleasure.
Pleasure too. I feel like asking you the same question. This day is worth celebrating?
Oh, you need to thank God that you are among those considered to have a nation. Many fellows, many other people have gone out looking for a nation and they've never had it. So some had it the hard way. So if we had ours and we are among nations that have the sovereignty in the world, we should thank God.
Thanks a lot for being here. Let me call her ma'am, Mumba B. Yvonne. She's the National Secretary for Political Education and Training of the Social Democratic Front, social entrepreneur and co-founder of the network More Women in Politics. It's an honor to have you here.
Thank you. The pleasure is mine. Pleased to be here on this special day. Not so special because it's a historically distorted day, but special because of we are doing it in a different way, unlike what has obtained in 47 years. This is the second year. It's silent. We don't see the going to march because of the pandemic. I perceive this like a message. My neighbor just mentioned God. I think I perceive this emerging pandemic like a message to Cameroonians. Can we go back to the drawing board and rephrase how this day should be commemorated, and which day particularly should be commemorated as a national day?
There's still a problem at that level.
Yes, there is still a historical problem. Are we commemorating reunification? Are we commemorating the independence of Cameroon? This should be made clear. I'm lucky. I have historians next to me. We think Cameroonians, especially the upcoming generation, need to know the truth. And we should not just go out, celebrate, commemorate, or dance because we want to, but it should be based on historical facts. From that perspective, I think we should rethink, because it's no longer the united country we used to have. We all know what is happening in almost 4 regions with fallbacks, or it's replicating to the other regions. Any Cameroonian who says today he is like before 2016, I will say that's not true. So we need to go back to the drawing board before this day really has the symbolism it deserves.
Listening to you talk, the conclusion I would make is the day is not worth celebrating.
This day, not based on historical facts. To me, I don't see why we should celebrate this day until those who decided that it should be on the 20th of May and not the 1st of October or another date. Why did they consider 1972 and not 1961? Until that is truly explained to me, so that I can hand down to the next generation, I don't see it worth celebrating.
Okay, thanks a lot for being here. Prince Apia Ejede of the Popular Action Party, you're the president, I would say, of the Yaoundé Sita branch. You're also an educationist and a historian. Thanks a lot for being here. It's been a while we had you. It's a pleasure to have you.
It's a pleasure also, Madam Hemin, and it's a pleasure also to share a panel like this with eminent people of the Republic. I want to greet Honorable Jemba. We have shared other platforms to look at the evolution of this country. I want to also greet Professor Tita, which I first of all made mention that as a child I've been always watching him on TV. It's also a pleasure meeting Madam also today, and the Social Democratic Front. You can remember that gave us the appetite of politics in the 90s. So we also learned from there. So it's a privilege being in this platform. I want to also use this opportunity, maybe with your permission, to greet one of the fans of TV, especially Clash of Titans, Mr. Ntungwe Ngole Pierre. Is in the diaspora, is in Switzerland, and I believe he's greetings, my brother. Privileged to be here. I'm grateful, and also to greet the millions of televiewers of Clash of Titans.
Thank you all for being here. Let's get starting. And the first topic of the day, we told you, national unity. Can the present reconcile with the past? That's the main question. First hand of the program, it's the focal point. And I will stay with you, Prince Apia Ejede of the Popular Action Party. Throwing the ball in your court. Can the present today, when we get back into history, reconcile with the past when we talk unity in Cameroon?
Well, Madam Hemin, I would say that is a very vast question, because as a historian that you've presented me to be, I don't know where to start. If it is to start in German Cameroon, or it to start after German Cameroon, that is during the leak, the mandate period, or to start after the mandate period had the trusteeship period. That is looking at the evolution of that's looking at the political evolution of the Cameroon politics. But now I will say that the first Cameroon map was drawn in 1911 by the Germans, and it was confirmed in 1912. But the triangular map that we have today, is it the Cameroon that we have today? I would say no, because we had the Dock Bill. I'm talking on the governance of other political analysts and historians. We had the Dock Bill Accord. In the Dock Bill Accord, you realize that if we look at the map of Cameroon today, most of the territory of the German Cameroon are not in the map that we have in Cameroon today. And after reunification, that is on the plebiscite of the 11th of February, you realize that one part of Cameroon went to Nigeria. That is, we are talking of northern British Cameroons that went to Nigeria. So in a nutshell, I would say that if you're asking me that question, I would say that the unity of Cameroon had been there in the beginning.
Before the colonial masters came in.
No, it didn't. No, let me even say that before the colonial masters came in, there was no Cameroon. Okay. Before the colonial masters came in, but when the colonial masters came in, those are historical facts. There was no Cameroon before the colonial masters came in. But when the colonial masters came in, that is why I started by telling you of the first map of Cameroon that was drawn in 1911. That is the map of Cameroon that brought the people that call themselves Cameroonians today together. And we are saying that most of them are not even in that particular map we are talking about.
We still have some of them in Nigeria.
We still have some of, not only in Nigeria, we still have some of them in neighboring countries.
Yes,
that
like Equatorial Guinea, you are about to
like Equatorial Guinea, Gabon, and even in Central Africa and the Congo. But now, what I'm trying to say is that the Germans, that is the Berlin West African Conference of 1884, that is November 1884 to February 1885, is drew the map of Africa, drew the map, and it's as a result of the Berlin Act, which one of the clauses of the Berlin Act talked of effective occupation, which automatically gave Germany the roadmap to come up with a map of Cameroon, which was drawn in 1911 and confirmed in 1912. But now, I think those are historical facts. Those are past events. But now we are looking at the unity of Cameroon. When you gave me the topics, I looked at this. You were looking at the history of Cameroon. But the history of Cameroon is not unity, because there is unity in the history of Cameroon. There is unity in the history of Cameroon. And it is that unity in the history of Cameroon which made Cameroonians to reunify in 1961. There is unity in Cameroon. But the problematic is what, as a historian that I am, and teaching students, we teach students the topic you are bringing, national unity. Okay.
So why are we facing a lot of grievances today if we lived unity? And there is a big problem living unity today.
That is what I'm saying. The problem of national unity is citizenship. It's citizenship. Because when I look at the topics that you gave, national unity and living together, it's citizenship. That is national unity, and living together is national integration. I want to say that those are political slogans. Political slogans for the good governance of the televiewers. They should know that national unity was a political slogan that was brought forth by President Amadou Ahidjo, looking at how to bring the Cameroonians together for a common future. And I want to say that he went further by also to make national unity to look more genuine. He also brought another political slogan, national integration, which you talk of. Living together, national integration, living together. So it was a political. It was for those who maybe cannot understand political slogan. It's a political agenda, slogan, a political agenda, or a political will of how Cameroonians could live. But now the problematic that we have today is the roadmap that Ahidjo brought for national unity and national integration.
That's what is not favoring Cameroonians today.
That is not what favoring Cameroonians today. And I want to say, Madam Hemi, that is now why we come to historical facts. Looking of 1961. Looking of 1961, looking at the historical facts. Now, what are the historical facts saying? The Cameroonians decided to come together. And as they decided to come together, in 1961 we had the 11th of February, that is the plebiscite of 1961, which the British Southern Cameroons decided to join their brothers at the other side of the Mungo. I want to say that those who thought of joining together, that is reunification, they were correct. I share their view because for example, I come from the Bakosi land. If you look at the Bakosi land, it means that I share boundary, because when you look at the Picot line, that is the Picot line. The Picot line separates, for those who don't know the Picot line, that is when, after the First World War, the British and the French decided to partition Cameroon. And when they partitioned Cameroon, they did not take into consideration ethnic considerations. They separated families. I want to say that they separated the Balong, they separated the Bakosi, they separated they went right to the Bamileke region. They separated the Bamileke, they separated those from the north, that is Babaju. All what you realize, the Babaju people are in the Santa subdivision. You realize that
Cameroonians are split everywhere.
Cameroonians are split everywhere. So double thought of reunification, they were correct. But now the problem that we have is that reunification today unified that they are telling us today that we are celebrating. That is the problematic. That's
where the problem lies.
That is where the problem lies. So I will say that I want to go further, Madam Hermine, to say that those who thought of reunification said we should go to a federal structure, because we had already, because I want to say something that people are not understanding here. Before the British Southern Cameroons would reunify with French Cameroon, they had already been in a federation. I want to make as a state, they were already in the Nigerian Federation.
That's why 1961 remains a problematic date.
That's why 1961 remains a problematic date. And that is why in the Popular Action Party, we are saying that to solve the problems of Cameroon, we should revisit the 1961 constitution. And let me tell you, if we play with history, this country will never hold. Because the problem lies in the history. Now I will take you to 1972 to go to the
swiftly.
Yes, swiftly. No, it's very important for you to give the parole to the other panelists.
Yes.
Now I want to say that Ahijo, yes, we had a federal republic. Now I want to tell you that the agenda was that they wanted to assimilate one part of the country, the Anglophones. I will give you a brief historical evolution of how they wanted to assimilate Anglophones. After the Fumba conference, do you know at the Fumba conference they staged a car which was bombed because they knew that French would enter in that car? No, Madam, I'm telling you,
I'm about to take it. You have no
historical facts.
Yes,
like I'm telling you, you are talking to a historian. Now, I want to say that if you look at it very well, between 1961 and 1972, all those that clamored, that is the KNDP bigwigs that clamored for reunification, were left out of the scene. I want to tell you that Foncha was removed out of the scene, and they brought in Augustine Ngomjua. And when Augustine Ngomjua came in, he was sidelined, was dismissed from his position as the premier of West Cameroon, just because he wanted to follow the federalist policies. And then they used who, madam, is very important. It's very important. They used Muna, because Muna had decided to play the game. May his soul rest in perfect peace. But I want to say that he regretted in the 1990s, madam. And because of his regrets, he went back following Foncha for them to go to the United Nations organization, because they knew that what they did, the people, they had sold the people, because they were doing themselves, they were not comfortable in the union. And I want to say that Ahijo, taking facts of this, because they had an agenda, they decided to abrogate the because people are talking today of multi-party politics that it began in the 1990s. It says, come! The British Southern Cameroonians had enjoyed multi-party politics. I believe that Honorable Ujemba cannot dispute this fact.
And I want to get his view on that.
Exactly. And I want to also say that in 1966, Ahijo brought in the one-party system. The one-party system was as a result to eradicate the history of the British Southern Cameroonians, because they were looking at they were looking at Sonara. Because at that particular point in time, the French said, if we want to invest money in Sonara, the oil that has been discovered in the British Southern Cameroons, we need to assimilate these people, bring them together. And that is what advocated. That was why they sidelined all the federalists.
Yes.
And used Muna. And what happened? The 1972 referendum. Which today we are talking about the unity which
turning around the referendum.
Which is a political scam. I'll end it for now, Madam.
Okay, Honorable Ujambeng, Stephen, we just got the foundation laid by a historian you write here on set, Principia today. At the end of the day, the problem lies between 1961 to 1972. And it looks like the wounds, we could stay a little bit longer in Cameroon for the wounds to be healed.
Let me first of all start by appreciating the lecture of my brother. I think he has done something good. I mean, the problem we have in Cameroon is that we have too many intellectuals. We have too many intellectuals in Cameroon now, too many historians. And so they see, you know, when you are living in a house with a woman, you don't have time to go out. In the morning you are with her, in the afternoon you are with her, in the evening you will see her mistakes a lot. Yes. You will see her mistakes a lot. And that is where the problem will start. And then the whole house will be on fire. It is quite true that the history of Cameroon has been distorted. Nobody can dispute that fact. But I think that Cameroonians themselves have been living in harmony with one another, despite the fact that some historical facts were distorted somewhere. We witnessed a program which His Excellency President Paul, the Father of the Nation, openly said it in Mo Abraham's program that they were trying to integrate. Some people can use it as assimilation, the English-speaking Cameroonians. But it didn't work. What I want to say is that there's relative peace in Cameroon. Even as we speak now, Cameroonians are celebrating this day. We would have been out there marching but for the coronavirus. But I will still tell you that even in those days ahead, we had so many people who were still creating trouble here and there. When October 1st is coming, you start seeing arrest of people here and there. And today, the situation has skyrocketed to another level.
With founded reasons or not?
Well, no matter what reasons that are there, we must not destroy the house to rebuild it.
Okay.
We can amend things and maintain the house the way it is, and ensure that there's cohabitation without creating trouble with one another. If you have a house with two wives and one is troublesome, you will not want to kill the one that is troublesome for peace to reign. You will try to see how to accommodate the one that is troublesome. And I think that if Anglophones are complaining, they are complaining because they feel the pain somewhere. It is very normal for people to complain. Even a baby, when you deliver a baby from birth, you normally notice that if the child does not cry, the doctor will do everything to tap the child to cry. That is already a sign to complain, to show that there's life in you. And so if Anglophones are complaining and if Cameroonians are complaining, it means that there is life in Cameroon. And Cameroonians are becoming too wise that they have discovered so many errors that were drafted. Perhaps these things were not done intentionally, perhaps they were done intentionally. But I still think that we have the opportunity to amend things and make Cameroon a better country than the way it was. I can remember the day when I was still young. We used to celebrate 20th May. Today, if you ask me about 20th May, I will give you a lot of history about 20th May. But then when we used to celebrate, we saw it as a national day, a day that unified Cameroon, brought people together.
Others call it today distraction.
Academicians, some knew that there was something behind. As a young man who was growing then, we just knew that it was a day for people to go and celebrate. And so we celebrated. But as time was passing and we were growing up, we began to learn our history and discover that that wasn't the day that was meant for the unitary state. And so, like Madame said, until somebody explained the reason why they didn't maintain the day for their unification, and then one can begin to understand why it was shifted from the 1st of October to the 20th of May. But there's a point my brother mentioned that about giving the history of Cameroon, how Cameroon was partitioned and all the like. The language we are using now is not our language. French is not our language. They are all borrowed language. And I want to say that the French and the British are really the founders of the problem in Cameroon. We cannot say that Cameroon had no name.
So if someone is to be held responsible, the colonial masters?
Of course. Because we were living a peaceful life. We're living our peaceful life governed by our funds. Right up to now, there is a governance in all the palaces. They came and reduced our funds to auxiliary of the administration and took away their power, divided us in order that they could govern us the way they want, taught us their own language, and named us La République, named the other one British Cameroon. And now we are now bearing names that have been given to us by the Western world. It wasn't our own names. And so this is where the problem started. Now you see a man from the northwest or the southwest look at somebody from the center. Oh, this is La République. And then the man from the center look at you and say, this is, some even call us Biafra. That's the kind of notion that has been implanted in us by the Western world. And now today we are fighting. We are not talking about colonial boundaries. That never existed. But these are the people that came and gave those boundaries. Splitted families and sent some on the other way, some on the other way. And so if our forefathers came back and they realized that, no, what the colonial masters did to all was wrong, it was good that we bring back the Cameroonian that used to exist to be one, so that we can live in peace and harmony. It wasn't bad. But the only bad thing that I think it is inside is that there's some kind of assimilation of the languages, because the colonial masters ongoing, they had already implanted languages in us. We now grow up with those languages. We grow up with English, the other people grow up with French. Okay. So if they were talking about unifying, they should have understood the fact that some people have a different cultural background that they were grown up on, and the other one has a different cultural background. And so you must put all this culture together, which the head of state, President Paul Biya, father of the nation, is trying to do now. They have just created a commission for bilingualism and multiculturalism to see how they can blend it and make Cameroonians have a better life. But I think if we Cameroonians can be peaceful, if we can show love to one another, despite all the complaints that we are giving, we will still be the same people to make life better for us to live and enjoy this blessed nation, Cameroon. Okay.
Let me get a view of our mom, Muma B. Yvonne. Today, do you really think, when we get the details of history, which you master certainly, that 2021 can reconcile with 1972?
It will take political will for that to happen, and good faith. Those who are in power, I call them power holders, should know that whatever keeps a country solid and strong are the institutions and not men. We need to go back to the drawing board. We need to go back to the drawing board and identify what has caused the collapse, what has caused the mistrust amongst Cameroonians. We all know what is going on. The insurgency, the extreme northern regions, the socio-political. When a problem is social, somebody talked of having 2 wives. If you have 2 wives and one suddenly gets hysterical, it's not, you don't return her violence with violence. You go back to the genesis. How did she come into being into that family?
You try to understand.
You try to understand
Okay.
what has suddenly pushed her to become hysterical. That is what is happening.
Okay.
Some people think that what you call national integration, the national cake is not partitioned equitably.
That's where the problem lies.
Yes, it's not about
the
living
root cause.
together. That's the root cause.
Okay.
Some people think that they don't get what they deserve from the divide, which is again their right. Why not? If a referendum could be organized in 1972, when, I'll go back to the crisis, the socio-political crisis, when syndicates, lawyers, teachers went to the streets, what did it cost the head of state to come up and say, through a referendum we'll find out if your grievances are grounded and seek solutions, lasting solutions. When I look at what is obtaining in Cameroon, I ask, is it not deliberate?
To tear the people apart.
To tear us apart, cause this chaos, so that the ruling class, they are just, gliding through in peace. When, he said it well, we live in relative peace. I am of those who think that I am a patriot who loves the fact that I'm Cameroonian. I want to go and choose a country elsewhere. But can I have my own share? Can I have the right to participate in the politics even of this country without feeling that I am discriminated upon or those my rights are trampled on? There is nothing wrong in admitting that these people who are clamoring, yeah, we've heard of the SCNCs. It did not begin today, which means since even the reunification, there were bones of contention. Why not address them? What is wrong with bringing Cameroonians around a table? Why not even begin?
And
those of us from this broad linguistic background,
the national dialogue, an attempt was made.
That's it's another ball game. Assert your leadership on them. Cameroonians think and they can talk. It's not the living together. It's not the national integration. If I give you, I am a pure product of it. I'm mixed in like across Cameroon. I have never found a problem with that. But my problem is bad governance.
And the share of the
corruption. When it's bad, it's badly shared. Okay. When governance is bad, the national cake is not shared equitably. We know we came from two backgrounds. We were brought up socially differently. That still obtains till today. When we are called Biafrans, when we are called Anglophones, who is Anglophone, who is Francophone in Cameroon? It should first be the notion of being Cameroonian. We belong to the same country. Because whether I belong to the opposition or to whatever party, I think the focus, the goal is a better Cameroon. Let every Cameroonian be the change that they want to see. We can get there if Cameroonians are brought together.
Who should bring Cameroonians together?
One person has the mantle. He has the yam and the knife. We have somebody leading Cameroon. The head of state, Mr. Biya, and his government have the mandate to bring Cameroonians together. Even those that crossed and went to Nigeria and arrested and came and put in prison in Cameroon, they have a right to sit at the table and say why they chose the course they chose. It's only through dialogue, genuine dialogue, that we can retract and retrace a path. For us like Cameroonians, not for us like Anglophones or Francophones. I don't identify myself with this thing we borrowed. I wish my Ngemba language of origin was what I was speaking here. Exactly. That is what identifies me like a Cameroonian. When I look at Prof next to me, I see myself in this towel. I see the Cameroonian. This is what you wear everywhere in the world. You are attributed to Cameroon, not the language we speak. So can something be done for that national integration to really be felt? He spoke of the National Commission on Bilingualism and Multiculturalism.
a step taken by the government too.
Another window dressing. Another window dressing. At the moment it came, if that had been posed, like it had posed itself like a problem, it's not 2 years ago that we'll be creating a commission. If it's about being bilingual, Cameroonians are bilingual. Bilingualism does not mean you must speak the 2 languages, but talk in that in which you are very comfortable. Multiculturalism, I identify myself with Ngemba tradition. We have our tradition. We had our palaces, the kings or thrones that we looked up to, like deity. Not today that they've also been assimilated. They've also been reduced to auxiliaries.
They are no longer custodians of tradition.
What I think we should go back to is that traditional divide, with which we used to identify ourselves. We could speak through our leaders. They are our leaders because they could go to the bigger positions and talk for the rest of us, those they govern. Cameroon had been well stratified, but something went wrong somewhere. So that national integration, it's a boiling volcano.
Something went on somewhere in the past, in the present,
in the past and in the present. The same time, it has correlated to what is happening now.
You have a right to say it.
Before you go to Prof, what
Honorable
Ujemba said is very, very important. I want to say that, Madam Hemin, if we come in political debates, it's for us to build this country. And I want to bring my own sentences of what I gathered from what they said. The thing I have always said in this country, as a historian that I am, is that we have failed, or those who took the matter of the country failed to think Cameroon. They failed to think Cameroon. That is where the problem lies. That is where the problem is boiling. When Honorable is talking that the problem we have in this country is the problem of the division within the intellectuals. It's correct, because the intellectuals in this country have decided to enter into politics.
Not even clean one, dirty politics.
Dirty politics. We are not saying that an intellectual cannot do politics, but most of them have decided to, because what they want gombo. They want somewhere to eat. They are looking. But I want to tell you that each country that wants to emerge, the intellectuals have their place. The university has its place.
Of course.
They think. And when they think, they bring it to the politicians for them to follow what they have thought of. Look at what is happening in Senegal. Look at the people. You are thinking of Sheikh Anta Diop. Sheikh Anta Diop was a thinker. You are hearing of Julius Nyerere came to power as a thinker. Look at the Wole Soyinkas. The people that you hear their names. But in Cameroon, it's a shame.
Because Bernard Fonlons too.
Bernard Fonlons, this is a man, Madam, thank you very much for that. This is a man that resigned as a minister and said, I want to go back to the university to go and think for the future of this country. So that is the way the police. So I just wanted to bring in that position that what Honorable said and what Madam is saying is very important. We need to go back to the drawing board and let the intellectuals take their place and not distort historical facts. Because what is bringing problems today in Cameroon is because some people think when they distort historical facts, they will have positions. They will remain in power for so long and it can never stay for long, Madam. I just wanted to bring that fact.
Appreciation. Professor Tita Anglophone, is there any possibility for us to turn back the hands of time and embrace ourselves in Cameroon without any grudge in mind?
As much as I appreciate what
you have been listening to
panelists have said, I will want to go further. I appreciate a lot that they have said, but not all. You will understand a simple idea that 25th of December is said to be a Christmas day, an Xmas Day, whatever you call it. But let's ask the question, what is in a day? It is how people agree and what the people agree that day to be. If you say Christ was born on the 25th December,
Well, we don't have the certainty he was born on that specific day.
and we all agree, it's okay.
That's a good one, Prof.
There's nothing to go about disturbing. So if we say
It's the 20th of May, we are celebrating the National Day.
The National Day, that's to make sure that we let the world know that we appreciate our sovereignty. We let God know that we appreciate our sovereignty. Whether it is in May, or it is in January, or it is in June, the fact goes that we are appreciating our National Day. That we are a nation among other nations of the world. That's the way I see it. Then, when you come further and you want to look at the way we are disagreeing in this country, you ask yourself, before multipartyism, were we in this mess? And if we were not in this mess, don't we think that multipartyism that was truncately received, embraced, has pushed us into a mess? I want to say this further, that we went in to create multipartyism and we did not know who is going to be what and which party has to be where. And what does our constitution even say about multipartyism? Which up till today I think there is no phrase in our article. No article in our constitution that talks about our multipartyism. I believe so. No article in our constitution. Whether Cameroon is multi-party or not, or what, and how many parties we're supposed to be, and the parties are supposed to come from where. I don't think we have that well spelled out in our constitution. These are honorables. They can educate me on that. Then you understand that when we came in to create a truncated multi-party state, there was a hidden agenda of divorce. Whether we accept it or not, there was that hidden agenda of divorce. And that's why somewhere I told people that when multipartyism shall come to Cameroon, it will not be SDF and CPDM only. All right. Now that we have given room and the multi-party has come, I was somewhere in Bafoussam when somebody called on me and said, Professor, I said yes. He said, now that you people are heading towards your Ambazonia. Oh, no, not towards Ambazonia, towards NCNC.
Okay.
Where have you kept us? I asked him, you who? He said, we, the Bamlikis, who came there. All right, you cannot turn and see that created some division again between the Bamandama and the Bamileke.
The man from the west.
And you understand now that I want to call the Bamileke by name.
Okay.
Because I don't think a Fumban man asked me any question.
Okay. Because in the West region we have a variety of
yes, I want to talk about
identities.
Bamileke in particular who asked me that question.
Okay.
Now, when we talk of unity, that was another form of disunity. Because the people came and they found out that we were not speaking the truth. So they opted out. That's another form of disunity. Okay, then allow me still go further and say, when you look at all those things, to where we went to all Anglophone conference, we were going there as Cameroon Anglophone movement. While there as Cameroon Anglophone movement, it became all Anglophone movement. From all Anglophone movement, it became LCNC. that I was in Senegal over the matter. I was in the Gambia over the matter.
Okay.
And I think we were now given the impression that that disunity started from us. I think the disunity did not start from Anglophone. It didn't start from sharing of goods. Look, let me say one thing. I visited the country in, I think, the 80s, and I met Pa Foncha, maybe early 80s or so, but help me think about that. Help me think about that. I met Pa Foncha hanging at Foncha Street, Bamenda. I went to him with one of my friends, and I asked him, I said, Excellency, now that you are here, where have you kept the people you took that way? And Foncha responded, looked at me and said, my son, if that's what you have come here for, I want to tell you that I don't go Foncha. I'll be the last man to dip my hands into Cameroon politics. That was what he said to me. And because he was so stern, we got up and left. But a few days after, when we had gone back out of the country, I saw Pa Foncha become a Grand Chancellor. I said, but this someone said, my hands
It had
are not
nothing to do with Cameroon's politics.
Allow me to go further and say one little thing. I asked myself, should you live as a vice president and become a Grand Chancellor? That question could not be answered. Now, when you look at again, they said Anglophones. You ask yourself, when Ahijo said, maybe a historian will still research on that, or he knows, or it didn't come up his mind. Ahijo said, we've had our independence, our sovereignty, but our brothers want to join us. And it is incumbent on us to admit them or to accept them. Incumbent on us to accept them. Nobody questioned that. What had he on the mind? What is behind that statement? Nobody questioned that. And again, thereafter, there was a lot of abrogation. My historian will still come back to this. A lot of abrogation of laws. There was no eyebrow raised, even by the citizens. Forget about the leaders. That is Foncha, Muna. What did we do ourselves? With the abrogation of law this, law that, and we kept silent. And in simple law, silence is consent.
Complacency.
And when we consented, and it comes a moment that we can see that it is pinching so hard, I think we need to look at the wall and ask, where are the cracks? Than blowing off the whole building. If we look at where there are cracks, okay, like Madam said here, I will not buy her idea. No water passes under the bridge and you bring it back. So there is no government that says, let us go back and see the dirty water that passed under our bridge. We look at what is in front of us now and work on it. Because I have never seen where you will say water pass under the bridge and we go and reverse it.
We can't turn back the hands of time.
You cannot. So I'm coming back to that. I'll answer your question.
Okay. It's true. Yes.
Madam. I mean, I wanted to say.
Swiftly.
No. It's very important. I was looking at this debate, not looking at the historical part of it.
Okay.
I was looking at it at the citizenship part of it. But if we want to come to the historical part of it, we'll be labor Cameroonians who are watching. It's the truth, because what Honorable said is very correct, because we know the history, we know the truth.
We know the fundamentals.
The fundamentals.
Yeah.
Why not already come to look at how, what is the
better way?
The better way. Because if we want to start saying the law, Ahijo abrogated the 1961 Federal Constitution, which Article 47 state that the form of the state cannot be touched.
Silence is consent.
But his silence is consent. That is what Prof is talking about. But
Intelligence again comes in there.
That's
silence.
Exactly.
What is their role in
What is their
Cameroon?
role?
We have professors.
Exactly. What is their role?
What is their role?
When you hear them that are coming as historians, I want to say that, madam, I have too much respect for them. But those we call historians of Cameroon there's a question mark. I'm telling you the truth. Those we call historians of Cameroon there's a question mark. But I have too much respect for them. That is why I'm honorable to say that in building this country, we need to look at the citizenship part of it. Maybe we can have some difference in ideology, in the citizenship part of it. Because if we come to the history, it will be very heartbreaking. And that is what has made people to take up arms
That's
today.
the bone of contention.
That's the bone of contention.
Yeah.
Because we are celebrating a day that was a day that could be a day of national mourning. A day that could be of national mourning. That's the day we are celebrating today.
Let
me just drop something.
Yes.
The people who have taken up arms do not even know why they have taken up arms.
Okay.
Because they are presently confused. We gave them the impression that military people are already coming in to give us a state. We gave them the impression that the state is already in the making. And when they turn and they cannot see the state, they are bound to do whatever they want to do.
No, I'll bet you I'll bet you a bit with Paul because you get the one because what I'm trying to say is that you cannot tell me that in 1984 President Biya single-handedly changed the decree for the constitution. Wait, let me tell you. Let me even bring it back. In 1979, the unity constitution stipulated that in the case of a vacancy, the president, the person to take the president over, the president of the republic should be the president of the National Assembly. And the president of the National Assembly at the time was St. Muna. And in 1979, Ahijo amends the constitution. And he amends the constitution. He says that in the case of a vacancy, is the prime minister who should be the constitutional heir.
Unappointed.
The president was appointed, and Blair was appointed in 1975.
Yes.
Now, in 1984, President Blair comes back to that constitution and says that Article 1, in Article 1, he says that is the United Republic of Cameroon henceforth becomes La République
du
Cameroun. And in Article 5, he says
that's the French Cameroon
assimilating
the British
in Article 5. In Article 5, it's for the governance of Cameroon. You should understand. In 1985, in Article 5, I beg your pardon, he says that in the case of a vacancy, the president of the National Assembly takes over. It means that you see the marginalization. It was a fait accompli because the French never wanted an Anglophone.
Sir, allow me.
No, I'm talking based on the historical. No, I want to go ahead to say that was the main reason. You can go and read Article 7 and many other articles of that decree. Now, that is why from Gorgi Dinka, I'm talking of somebody that Professor Tita knows very well. From Gorgi Dinka, he's still alive. That is why he challenged. I'm talking about Barrister from Gorgi Dinka, challenged President Biya. That is not correct. It means that you have assimilated Anglophones. That is when he baptized the Ambazonian movement in 1985. Now, you cannot say no in a nutshell. So you cannot say that those who have picked up arms is an ideology that began since
the reunification.
Since the reunification, it's not a matter of today. No, and it was being orchestrated by the regime in place. That's what I wanted to bring.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
1 minute.
I'll get to you, Prof.
I just wanted to. Prof talked about truncated political parties. I come back to when I mentioned that a country, for it to function well, has to run on institutions and not on men. You come and throw on the floor multi-partism. It's not the first time. We had it now. We had the KNDPs, the whatever, and with no control mechanisms. Go ahead. Till date, political parties have been legalized. For a population of how many, God alone knows, because they don't want us to even know how many we are. But we can have as many political parties as the divide and rule mechanism being implemented very well. How will you accept? We don't need, when we say going back to the drawing board, we are grounded on some legal documents. Even the multipartism is not inscribed in our constitution. All what is taking place today, the regional councils, I don't know whether the constitution already talks about them. Can't we go back to the constitution of Cameroon and revise it, giving citizens an institutional grounding to base whatever they do on, to be anchored on the constitution, the laws that cannot just be thwarted to suit A or B in this country. Can we go back to that? Going back to that does not mean we should go back and hold a Fumban conference. That had helped. But there is no today without history. There is no tomorrow without what is happening today. All of that is what makes this construct we call Cameroon. We love it so much. Some people are benefiting from, some are not. What is happening in our two regions has escalated because of what I term poor management from the onset. I was amongst people who went to the streets of Bamenda and Buea to say this should not be allowed to escalate to where it is today. It is easy for people to pick arms. But how did this start? People went to the streets empty-handed. They brandished peach plants. After they used rubber guns. After they picked sticks and stones. After it went to maybe traditional, today sophisticated weapons. Why? There is a control mechanism that if put in place, will all come back.
1 minute.
I don't buy what they are doing because I will never be
1 minute.
a partisan to Ambazonia or to separation. We love Cameroon, but we should rebuild Cameroon.
And we should look back.
It's looking back that will build.
Okay.
We want
like
to learn from the old.
which goes through down the stream. There is no
goes down the
possibility of
stream.
bringing
It
it back.
passes through. It may go round and flow back.
Okay. That's to contradict what Professor Tita Samuel just said. Honorable.
In fact, I really feel a lot of pain. I feel the pain because the Cameroonians are complaining, they are crying. They are not happy. The problem which is affecting our country is an intellectual problem. I've said it time unnumbered. Even like Madam was saying there, those guys that went on the street, whether they called them the coffin revolution, whether they went on the street with peace plan, whether they went on the street with rubber guns, now they're using sophisticated weapons, it is not going to solve the problem. It is an intellectual problem which needs intellectuals to sit down, think, and come out with a better way that Cameroonian can feel comfortable wherever they are. Whether you're an Anglophone or you're a Francophone, you should feel comfortable without feeling like you are being marginalized or you are being treated like a subhuman.
You're right. You're right.
Okay. And so these are some of the issues which I was saying, and I'm happy we have historians on the table who have given us a lot of historical facts, citing the situation from where we started Cameroon, passing through the Republic, United Republic, and today the Republic of Cameroon. These are political evolutions, living from one step to the other, from one step to the other. But I think that as the politics of Cameroon evolves, it's also bound for man to make mistakes. We are human beings.
Who committed the errors then?
We committed the errors. We Cameroonians. Because as the politics is evolving from one stage to the other, from one stage to the other, we Cameroon, it is not a Nigerian that committed it, the Caribbean Cameroon. We Cameroonian committed errors somewhere. And my brothers talked about giving power to the Prime Minister, giving power to the National Assembly. Today we have the Senate, We have the regional House of Assembly. Where you see, there's this political power, autonomy that is being given to the people. Some people opted for a federated state, and we saw the national dialogue which took place, though it is not closed. If you listen to the speech of the Prime Minister, he said dialogue was still ongoing.
It should be a continuum.
Yeah, it's still ongoing. And so when we come to forums like this to talk, I appreciate when people talk sense, things that can help, because you don't know who is listening where, gathering facts to see that they implement the right thing for Cameroonians to feel comfortable in their country.
Prince Pierre Ejede, let me not cut you mid mention of that problem of assimilation.
Yes.
Not cut you. To you, is it grounded?
Of course, you cannot deny the fact that there is not some sort of assimilation in Cameroon,
which is problematic.
I was in the Vision card.
Not to do them publicity.
No, I'm sorry. Yes. Oh, I'm sorry. In that program, we're talking about English and French and the translations. Just move around Yaoundé. If you are a good driver, just drive around and look at the billboards. You realize that most billboards are written in French. Some translated in English are poorly translated.
Okay.
If you go even into our regions, you will still discover the same thing. What about official documents that come from the ministry? Most of those decrees are in French. And so
tell the televiewers, Honorable, that the computers that came in your office, were in French. Tell the televiewers for them to also understand.
We're saying that the head of state himself acknowledged that, said that they were trying to integrate. Maybe they wanted to come up with another system where it will be introduced, but it didn't work. Reasons why he has created some of these commissions for multiculturalism, bilingualism, and all the like. But I think that the commission is supposed to have put in a lot of effort to ensure that if you are an English-speaking Cameroonian who does not put a lot of effort to learn French, you should be able to read a document, an official document that comes in the language that you are comfortable with it, than have it in one language.
Vice versa.
So, vice versa.
Okay.
So, I think that the problem we are saying here is a good thing. Let us just be patriotic, like Prof is saying here. We are arguing because we want to build. Nobody cries in vain. If you see somebody crying, know that there's something paining that person. It's not good for you to give the person another slap for you to continue crying. But you try to pamper the person and find out what he's crying for so that you can provide for. And the crying will stop instantly. So I think I will appreciate if we continue to talk more constructively, like Democrats, like Republicans that we are, as I've seen the debate going on. If we do it this way, Cameroonians themselves will at least have to pick one or two things from our contributions to ameliorate their reasoning. Like somebody said, Prof was saying that there are people in the bush fighting. They don't even know why they're fighting.
Why they are fighting,
But if you go, honestly,
they have been derailed.
What he is saying is true. Besides the fact that they promised them that they were going to give them a state, some will just tell you that they don't overshow we. You know the pidgin English. No, the La Republic have told us. We want to show them that we are also people. But if you ask them the root cause of the problem, they cannot explain to you. And so these are some of the things.
They say they want a federal system.
Yeah, no, those are the intellectuals.
Yeah.
The intellectuals who know what they are fighting for.
Those who are behind.
That will tell you that they want a federal system. But if you go to those our brothers and sisters who are fighting at the war front, they can't really tell you what they're fighting for. You see, so this is what I think in programs like this. Let us be honest. Let us be fair in what we say. Let us keep aside political sentiments and face the reality for a better Cameroon.
Okay, it's true. Yes, ma'am. Let me get to you. Yeah,
Prof.
Before I get back to Prof.
I think going back to what they told them.
Okay.
This thing has escalated to where none of us has a finger on. I don't know if even those who went to the streets knew what they were getting into or knew it was going to take us this long. We all are for the fact that it is long overdue. can we seek a consensus? You have little children manipulated, drugged, have fallen into their dragnet. When you listen to them talk, they are waiting for the UN. And I had to sit some down and ask them, is UN part of Cameroon? Who is a member to that jangi called UN? And they said, Cameroon government. I said, how can you, small boys in the bush, be waiting for them? We need all, with the spirit of patriotism, to sensitize our youth who have been derailed. While sensitizing, we make sure anybody who contributed negatively to this and is found wanting faces justice. You cannot preach peace when you cannot even judge those who have pushed us to where we are and sanction appropriately for the others. Yes, mechanisms have been put in place to withdraw them from there. I want to see a situation where it's not in a DDR camp where they go and they are kept and they are fed every day. Render them productive. Give them an opportunity to be self-reliant. Send them back to their communities. They will become the watchdogs. It's not like we don't see all of that. This issue of national unity, living together, national integration. I see mighty agri schools. I always take the example of one that is somewhere around Nomayos, Bingela. Big structure, well equipped. That school can take thousands of youth. The whole hill is empty, it's lying fallow. You have pickups still wrapped in plastic bags. It's not used. Some of these children want to become experts in agriculture, in poultry, why not take them? Go and put them, train them, give them back. Let's go back to the grassroots. This thing is being preached. We accuse it's preached from the diaspora. They are coming to get their independence. This is 5 years running. It's not coming tomorrow. But can we genuinely solve this? How can you go and people have come and dropped guns? Suddenly they are going on strike that they're not feeding them. They're supposed to work and produce what will take care of themselves. When you take them and keep them and are feeding every day, what? So the approach or the way of addressing all the problems we face in Cameroon are so cosmetic.
From both parties?
Yeah, everywhere. You went to the streets, you want multipartism, Tegna. They flooded the place. There are people with political parties in their suitcases who've never participated in any elections. But we keep calling them political parties, counting 300 plus for a population we don't know. The real things we should know. Our civil status. How many are we Cameroonians? Disaggregated data. That's when I come back to the intellectuals. They are supposed to be following. Hey, this constitution this man touched, did he have a right? It's a clarion. You ring the bell and tell Cameroonians, no, what he did is wrong. Once he sees that class of people have come together and are saying what you did is wrong, he will retract. But when he does it and we are complacent, we just stay us quiet. They not tell us. This is a crisis going. Go back and ask about the index of perception. How many people were for separation? Why are we causing the innocent to suffer? Did the population of these two regions embrace whatever was put on the table? Who has ever gone to find out how many were for and how many were against? 5 years running, we don't have any data with regards to that. I now sit in the shoes of a woman. Disaggregated data proves it. We are bearing the brunt of all what is going on. Women are almost 52% of this population. They too should be brought on board to the solutions. Talking about people in bush, nobody is still in the bushes. All those boys have come back into the quarters. I think they only move into their areas and assemble when they want to do their kidnappings, because it's today about kidnappings or about trying their hands at new technology. They have come back into the quarters. So we can go back to the grassroots, address these issues, and in every community we uproot the Bahama or the bad grass.
Those are solutions.
Yes.
Professor Tita Samuel.
There are a few things I will disagree with Madam. One is this question of political parties. in politics, there is room for amalgamation. Am I right to pronounce it?
Amalgamation.
Amalgamation. Amalgamation. And we are, let's say, 25 millions.
Let's see.
Yes, we are 25.
Because we don't know.
Cameroonians, millions. Even if we have 2,000 political parties, what effort are the politicians making to work together? To have a common dream, to build a Cameroon, to have a vision for a Cameroon that we can leave behind as the destiny of our children. But if you go ahead and yours is giving an impression that it is the best, and another person comes behind with his, I believe that in politics it is a question of allowing the people to decide. And if you go alone and you are beaten by the incumbent, you should not now say, oh, because I went alone and I'm more populated than the man with 10 militants, 10 militants, I am the best. No. You are not different. 2 million Cameroonians behind a political party are not different from 10 behind another political party. But if the 10 and the 2 millions came together, they already give you 2 million 10. That's why I disagree a bit. And if amalgamation is my problem, amalgamation, how can the party, the number of parties doesn't matter. Look, we started, if I think you know very well, there was something in Bamenda called Union for Change.
In Cameroon.
Let me say Bamenda.
Bamenda. How many Bamenda people were inside? It's
in Bamenda. In Bamenda. That's where it started. I want to be very stern about what I'm saying. In Bamenda. Then there was hardcore. All in Bamenda.
Yeah.
But this was clear room for people, for parties to come together. But they didn't come together. All right. Now we are going about blaming the party, the party in power of bad governance. How do we want correction in governance when you who accepts to be in parliament, you are minority and you accept to be there? You are minority.
Rhetorical.
And you accept to be there. So you still see that we contribute to the errors in this country. The errors that were handled, were caused by our fathers, or our fathers, like Foncha, Muna, and the rest. They went ahead not even knowing what political principles are. And that's why when Ahijo said, it is incumbent on us. And Ahijo was talking with a lot of guidance from France. But they were talking with little or no guidance. Just like the opposition parties in Cameroon here are talking with no guidance. But CPDM is talking with a lot of guidance from France.
To you, there is no problem of assimilation.
No, we don't have even rules that govern the game.
Can I now answer the question? That there's no problem of assimilation.
Okay.
I believe that the Anglophones came up and they could not manage their situation in Boya. Ahijo gave room for some people to be taken from Boya to Yaoundé. And they were proud to say, I am now a federal worker. When he saw that situations were still very rough, he came up with integration, national integration, that you mentioned very well. National integration. And national integration was out to say, the nation is one. Where was the error again? He abolished all the parties of the Anglophone zone and kept only his own party. And we accepted the situation. We never raised an eyebrow. We consented. So who are we blaming? We should blame ourselves and then think, what correction can we give? Because we have gone into the race, the middle of the sea, and instead of you thinking to swim forward, you say let's swim backward. How possible is that?
I mean, that's so sweeping a statement. That's so sweeping a statement for somebody who thinks his focus is building Cameroon and getting a new Cameroon on rails. Whether you point at the mistakes, spend your life dwelling on the mistakes of individual or little groupings. We are looking at the bigger picture. If let me still go back to the political parties. If they were governed by rule, political party is like a product you put in the market to sell. To sell, you want to buy votes. You buy votes to start governing at the local level. If you are running one and you cannot even have one councillor, banished. Those are the laws I'm talking about.
No.
Not that you come for 30 how many years.
No.
You are there and somewhere they just come and they are hungry. They start creating G whatevers.
The G20.
Yes. G
They
what.
have an
Nobody has
idea.
monopoly in Cameroon.
They have
But we
an
should
idea,
be
madam.
telling the youth we
They have
should
an
be
idea.
governed by institutions and not by hungry and greedy or egoistic tendencies.
But now the
everybody
institutions are
wants
not
to
there.
own one.
The institutions are not
They
there.
shall
What
be
do we
put
do?
by Cameroonians. Don't just sit and throw your hands in the air and say, what do we do? Something has to be done. If truly you are a leader, you should be looking at your people, the sufferings of your people, and proposing a way out of the quagmire in which they find themselves, rather than you want to go and attribute it to A, B, C in those days. Some of you with the white beard and a certain age are part of the problems we are living today.
Yes.
What was your role as
But
a
now, what
person?
do we do?
Before you turn and accuse everybody, tell Cameroonians,
I
I did
so what
this
do we
and it
do?
did not work.
What
Yes,
do we do?
no, Madam, I mean, it is what I want to say is that I will, for the last statement, Madam, it's very important because Professor Tita Samuel, I made mention that he knows von Gojidinka very well. He did not make mention of.
Very well.
Thank you. He did not call his name. I'm talking the architect of the Ambazonia movement.
Yes.
I'm talking of the architect. There's somebody that is not being talked of which he is still alive. Professor Prof knows him very well. He has not made mention of him. That notwithstanding, what I want to say is that if we are in a debate like this, it is to build this country. I'm with Honorable Ojimba. Very well, we should build this country. I can make a small fun by saying that as a youth that I am, my colleagues now are in bars drinking. I'm sitting here to contribute. Exactly, to contribute to the evolution of this country. And they are drinking that they are drinking is out of frustrations caused by all the quagmire that we are having in this state. But now, that notwithstanding, I want to say that the thing that we are looking at, we should go back there. Say that it's a problem of citizenship. How you are asking the question that can the present reconcile with the past? I think we should not go out of that. Can the present reconcile with the past? Now, when I'm teaching national unity and national integration, I define the concept to my students. When I define the concept to my students, I tell them the architects of the concepts, which are, and I want to make sure that President Paul Biya also took up the concept from his predecessor. It is written. It is written. I'm talking, when we talk about political slogan, it means a political will and agenda that they set forth. But was it in good faith? That's the question we have been asking. Because in a nutshell, when I make a resume of that question, is do we have unity in Cameroon, reconciling the past with the present?
Are we living
the unity? But I knew that we'll enter to that in national integration, which is the second topic.
Yeah.
But now, in a nutshell, what I want to say is that national unity in Cameroon has been trampled upon.
Yeah.
If we look at it, I want to look at it. First of all, let's look at the political aspect of it. Look at, they were talking of political parties, which is very correct. Multi-parties, which is very correct. Do we have a synergy in the political parties and the multi-party politics we have in Cameroon? Do we have that synergy to move forward in Cameroon? I was with Honorable Jim and the platform. I told him off that I went to the National Commission for bilingualism and multiculturalism. That I brought proposition and I wrote and I said I wanted to meet Mr. Musonge for my propositions.
Were you received?
I was never received. I want to say that the National Commission for the Promotion of Bilinguality and Multiculturalism is of national interest. It is not a matter of political party. But I mean, it's not a matter of political party. It's a matter of political party. Actually, he is there. That was never received. But how do we go on with this country when the people that have the mantle don't want to make the space for a political unity? That is the first aspect. And many other things that we have seen many politicians that have been arrested and then thrown into prisons. We have seen all those type of things that we cannot mention here. It's also about touching the unity of the country. Calling politicians names, you are from Bamileke, you are from this, you are from that.
It's been tribalized.
It
has been hate speech.
And the whole thing and all whatnot. We have seen even members of the multiculturalism who have propagated hate speech. That's what I'm saying. That it's a matter of citizenship. Okay. And then looking at the economic aspect. Let's look at employment. Where is the place of the youths who are now in bars? But I'm here on the platform. That's what we are talking about.
Their grandfathers are still in position.
Their grandfathers are still in position.
At 65.
Exactly. Let's go to the transport. Let's go to the transport sector. Do we have an autoroute in Cameroon that can link Cameroon? Look at Bamenda. Look at what is happening in Babaju. Emmanuel Danujume said about how many years ago showed us trucks. That's the minister of public works. Showed us heavy tractor. Oh no, that the road. Where is it? Look at what is happening. Look at the scenario. You are a renowned journalist for that matter. You can say, oh, no, madam, cutting the economic. Let's go to the socio-cultural aspects. So, madam, I'm telling you that. It's that's what I'm saying, that if we look at all these issues, but I buy with the honorable
we can do
because
better.
When you are
voted time.
No. When you are voted, I want to say that when you are voted as a parliamentarian in this country, you are for this country. And that is what some of his colleagues have failed, because they have never wanted.
They are representing the political party and not the country.
Not even the political party. They are representing their personal bellies.
Do you affirm this?
The personal belly, madam. Look at the social aspect. I want to go to make mention that in Cameroon, look at what is happening. I'll go further. We even may mention the political aspect. Tribalism, nepotism. Look at what is favoritism. Look at what is happening. If I go with the contract with honorable, I know he's a civil engineer. No, even I'm competent, they will choose him. Tribalism, nepotism, and all whatnot. So, Madame Emin, there is a problem in Cameroon.
A problem of interest.
The problem of interest, which is touching the national unity of this country. As I said in my conclusion on this particular analysis, I'll say that because those who took power failed to think Cameroon.
Think collective.
Honorable.
No, what I just wanted to say is that members of parliament are lawmakers. And so when they go to the parliament, they go there to make laws. If they make bad laws, they themselves will be affected by the same laws.
They adopt laws, don't make.
And so I don't think they go there to represent political parties. They go there to make laws for the whole nation. That's what I wanted to clear on that part. Yeah. Now coming back to one-on-one relationship with the people. Yes, they. If you go there, I can say that there are some representatives of the people who are so stick with their political party. They think that they need to give something substantial to the people that gave them the power to be where they are. That is but normal, it's natural. Even in the house, within the father and the mother, you don't love all the children the same way. You did some small favoritism that happens in the house. And so when they come outside and they start doing that, you don't blame them for that.
And the detriment of a state that needs to evolve. Honorable.
No, but when they are in that house, is to make laws that govern
the nation.
So there's no discrimination there.
No, what I'm trying to say is that national unity. Why is it that national unity? Look at the G20. No, it is good, madam. I love the casting.
You are a gentleman. I like the way you talk. You see, you're talking about national cake.
Yes.
First and foremost, we have the various ministries. And you agree with me that there's no ministry that does not have a regional delegation, a divisional delegation, a subdivisional
Delegation.
This is how the national cake goes down to those
grassroots.
areas.
Yeah.
My problem is the way some of these people administer the partition of the national cake. It doesn't get to the people. Some get to the people, some doesn't get to the people. But now, the politicians of those areas, the people who are supposed to be running behind these people to find out what has happened. If you are a representative of the people, before the year starts, you go to the ministry, you know what have been partitioned for the people. And you go back there and find out if these things are coming back to the people.
Yeah.
If it doesn't come, you have to raise an alarm. This is the work of a parliamentarian. This is the work of a representative of the people. And so if somebody is complaining that the national cake does not get to them, I begin to wonder if they have a representative.
But this way I said
If they have,
is constant.
then they should be asking their representative, what is he doing? Because he is supposed to be the voice of the voiceless. The doors that a common man cannot open, he opens the door for the common man.
That's right.
So let us not talk about the national cake not being shared to
Let's take a
everybody.
few messages. Good evening to you all on the panel. What is the national unity we are talking about in Cameroon? It's Effa who is reacting right here. Thanks a lot, Effa, for your reaction. Another one. Un pays très tribalisé et divisé, c'est ça le Cameroun. C'est Raphaël qui envoie ce message. Triste ce pays, plein de trop de corruption, favoritisme et vol. C'est ça le problème du Cameroun. Chaye, with another message here. Un pays où le tribalisme, la corruption, le vol des biens publics sont érigés en système de gouvernement. Là, c'est une question que vous posez. It's Dennis who is reacting here with this other message. Thanks a lot for your reactions. You could do same out there. 680 82 60 29 675 903 62 for your WhatsApp and direct messages. What we are going to do, gentlemen and our lone lady on cert, is to embrace the second topic of the day, without which we want to look at this aspect of living together and strategies and determinants to produce in Cameroon. That's the magnet. Welcome back, and Professor Tita Samuel Fon, let me start with you on the second topic of the day. What are those little stuffs obstructing the living together concept in Cameroon?
Or if you
Let's identify the problems and we look at the solutions.
If you talk of living together,
yes,
personally, I don't seem to see where there are hurdles.
okay,
I don't seem to see where there are hurdles. Look at the problem in Noso. A lot of Noso people are this way, and they are comfortable. And they're not living together.
did they affirm that to you? They were comfortable.
Let me say, and they are for comfortable because
Okay.
if you cannot be comfortable in your own house, then you go out to your neighbor's house and you are comfortable there. Are you not in a comfortable state? So I think there is nothing in Cameroon as division or obstacles in living together. In living together. If I can watch some other countries, you travel, you find it difficult to even ask for water and drink. But here, you can just go anywhere and say, give me water, and they give you water to drink. And you want to sleep, there's what's happening in your place? Say, there's war in my place. They say, okay, stay here. So what's the problem? I don't seem to see the problem in Cameroon. I don't see it.
Let me get a view of Mom
Okay.
on living together. Do you think there are hurdles?
I don't even think we should be addressing that, because the problem of Cameroonians has never been living together. We don't have interregional crisis. It's not that what we call an personal crisis is what is happening in the northwest and the southwest regions. People have claims, or they have needs they want to be met, but it's not about Cameroonians living together. I usually take myself. I have lived in the center region for more than 35 years. I went to schools here, I did everything here. My children are today intermarried. One in the littoral region, one in the west. It's not about us. I've never found problems except with the outcome, with the advent of new technology, communication technologies, with the notion of hate speech.
The hate speech.
And this hate speech comes from where?
Yeah.
They start calling you, if you don't think in this direction, sardine oil is in your head. If you don't think in this direction,
the sardinard, the tontina.
You are Anglo. You are like what he just used.
You are the
Where's Nozo? Where's Nozo from? Northwest, southwest. There is nothing, no part of Cameroon called Nozo. To me, hate language. Those are the little things, stereotypes we attach on others. I am not a Bamenda, because don't behave like a Bamenda. There is that statement, which is hate speech. It is now in this new communication methodologies that we discover ourselves expressing hate. But it's not a problem of hospitality. You will never come, a Cameroonian will not find another falling there and dying and will not assist. With the crisis ongoing in our two regions, it has escalated to the other, because what we call internally displaced. I have a new issue where we should be addressing the host communities. They have their quiet life. Other people have migrated from because of the crisis and have come into their areas and are bringing new patterns of living, trying to impose what obtained with them out there to the host communities. These are the people now we should be addressing, because we have now become internally displaced in our own country. Anybody in this region who originates from our two regions, who says you do not host one day, you should be a very lucky person. Minimum is 2, 3 internally displaced. Those who love education in areas where children cannot go to school, we do all to take even from friends and crowd our homes. So that is the new problem of living together that will come up. I always take the example of this aid, assistance to internally displaced persons. Imagine I am a quarter head. I and my family, we are needy. Some strange people come because they are setting in my quarter, you bring things to my palace and tell me that I should distribute to them. Will I not first take those materials and look at my relatives who have nothing to sleep on? That is where the living together will start posing problems. But all of this can still be addressed. I don't think intrinsically Cameroonians have a problem of living together,
of accepting,
one another. We are a very hospitable people. I faced one person who called me Ambazonia, and I said, me and you will finish, you will show me, you will bring me the map of where the Ambazonia is found. You know, and with all regrets, he had to kneel and apologize for calling me an Ambazonia. I said, I'm a Cameroonian. That's why I never accept I'm an Anglophone, because I speak this language. Let me give you the statistics. I mean, I went with my last son who went to write the common entrance, and I was so keen on who was writing the national common entrance. Do you know common entrance? Despite the crisis in our two regions, we had about 110,000 children writing the common entrance. The other French-speaking regions, which are 8, had 160,000 writing the concours d'entrée en sixième. Please, in 5-10 years, I think we'll redefine who is Anglophone. Who is from the English, who speaks English. That's why I think the powers that
speaking English makes someone an Anglophone.
No, because if that's it, because we think that it's this language that makes us an Anglophone. And
which is being the barrier.
Yes, my original origin is from the southern Cameroons. I am not Anglophone, no Francophone.
You're Cameroon.
I am Cameroonian.
I like
okay, Prince Pierre.
Yes, but I want to tell Madame that as of now, we know that those that are Anglophones are those that were of the British Southern Cameroon before reunification in 1961.
Well,
that is very important. that is good.
British Southern Cameroon.
Exactly. So, but I love the way you say we need to redefine.
Yes.
Yes, but as of now, we know that those
of course.
Yes, of the British Southern, the former British Southern Cameroon as of the reunification of 1961.
So what would be the determinants to prone living together in Cameroon? The determinants and the strategies?
Madam Emin, first of all, many politicians have not understood the concept. I want to tell the CPJ representative of this on this platform to go to his political friends of the same party to tell them for them to go and understand what we mean by national integration, because some of them don't know the definition of what Ahijo meant or President Biya who came after inherited as national integration. Now, I want to say that I am d'accord that national integration in Cameroon doesn't pose a problem within Cameroonians. It's just in some specific places. I've made it clear on some TV platforms that where I saw, okay, for example, I come from Tombel subdivision. The mayor of Tombel subdivision is from the West region origin. I will not call her name here not to do her publicity, but I want to say that to make it to understand that those who know the Tombel subdivision very well is a cosmopolitan town, and so we grew with everybody and enjoyed life. I left Tombel, went to Douala. I have never seen any discrimination, but I started seeing discrimination when I came to Yaoundé. I came to the university in Yaoundé. That is when I started seeing discrimination. But that I will not enter into the polemics of it, because it was just a few individuals instrumented by some politicians. So in a nutshell, I want to say that the living together we are talking about, which is being trampled upon today, it is being instrumented by politicians up there. Let me tell you, I teach my students in class when I'm teaching the national international integration. When you are teaching them the effects of national integration, you teach them the negative effects and the positive effects. In the negative effect, they define a root policy of the government. It is there. I want to quote one of the books that I used to teach, which is in the curriculum. Citizenship Education Made Simple by Hannah Munono. I've got it. It is there. The divide and rule policy of the government. So I want to make you to understand that it is being orchestrated by politicians because they want to use the divide and rule policy
to assert themselves.
To assert themselves, as Madam is saying. That is the problem that we have in Cameroon. But I don't tell you that I have a problem. For example, my wife is from the Northwest region.
Okay.
I am from the Southwest region. To make you to understand that we have felt very happy for years today. And the best person I've met in life is my late in-law. That I would not call his name. Yes, that's what the best person I've met in life. So if somebody is telling me of that we have a problem, or living together problem in Cameroon,
the man has given you a wife, and how can you not?
Some give wives and they don't even talk to each other.
Exactly. See, honorable is what I say is true. Some give her and they don't even talk to each other. So out of my experience, madam, I'm saying that let politicians stop, and that is why we of the Popular Action Party, we are saying that to solve all these problems in Cameroon, I will take first from Madame that we need to redefine the Cameroon politics. We need to redefine. But by redefining the Cameroon politics, one, we need to call for a roundtable conference. Going now to what Honorable Ojemba was saying, that we need to, the intellectuals need to sit on the round table and then calling in that round table. There will be an inclusive dialogue for reconciliation, and in that reconciliation there are many things that they will discuss to see where we went wrong, which is disturbing our national unity today. And in that light we shall bring in the revision. First of all, even bringing the revision, first of all, give general amnesty to all Cameroonians, home and abroad. I don't want to define a nation here, because it will be belaboring the problem because of time constraints. But I want to say that we need to first of all give general amnesty. Everybody come back, sit in that inclusive table that Honorable Ojemba is saying, and in that we need to revisit the electoral code.
All the basic
of the electoral code, because it is where we shall have representation. And above all, madam, is very important. Let all those that are in power today relinquish power because they are failed Cameroonians.
That's the root cause of your problem.
Well,
many things are easily.
Prof, ask the question swiftly.
Many things are easily said than done.
Okay.
So, are we talking on this platform things that we can possibly also do? Let's look at the situation of people who are in prison. Nobody put you in prison. It's the law of the land.
Okay.
So are we now saying that if you had the opportunity, you will abolish that law?
No, that's not what he meant.
Okay. If that's not what it means, maybe you tell me what it means. Then the president, by that law, has some powers. And I think of recent, he used the powers to send the fellows out and this certificate. What? Are we now saying that the president should just go out abroad and say, come on, all of you come back into the country. You who is in prison, go out and go and sit on a dialogue table. Go and sit on a dialogue table.
Oh no, second chance.
So please, can I be enlightened?
Madam, I mean, I want to know. No, he said no.
I think Honorable react on the question, without which he wouldn't have time, because we are getting short of time on the strategies and determinants to pro living together. I know you have.
Yes, I just want to
some aftermath reactions.
Give
there.
a first one to my brother that the CPDM party has the highest intellectuals in Cameroon. They have the highest intellectuals, and I think that they can do better. Coming back to the topic,
yes.
National integration, I think we don't have a problem in our country. Cameroonians are very comfortable everywhere they go. If you go to the up country, the north, you will see people from the northwest, people from the south.
I hear that in the extreme north.
Yeah, even of the extreme north, you will see them. Some are already settled, some are even quarter hate and all the like.
Okay.
You see, I don't think we have a problem with our living together. But there's a challenge, and which, if it is not looked upon very critically and fast, it is going to create a serious problem with our living together.
What's the challenge?
First, political parties, hate speech. If you listen to them when they go on the field for campaigns, the type of things they say during campaigns, it is just like you want to destroy because you have to pass this way. Since I have to pass through this wall, I'll put it down at all costs.
It's all about sabotage.
For me to pass. And when we do this, the aftermath start haunting us. And we implant terrible things in the head of Cameroonians, especially the younger generation. You know, when they grow up with something, it remains in their head. It plays back on them. And the effects are there. We see them every day. Madam, you will believe with me that during the advent of multi-party politics in the early 90s, when SZA, the Social Democratic Front Party, was created, you can imagine the atmosphere that took place within that period. Our youths were into burning of houses, threatening militants here and there. My father, a pastor of a Presbyterian church house, was burnt just because I was a militant of the CPDM. And so you see, if we start seeing children today escalating the level of arrogance, wickedness, killing left and right, it's something that started building up in the mind of the younger generation. And now they have, I think they are already at their
at the brim of it all.
Terminator, as the French man will call it. You see, so they are now showing what they learned from the early 90s to now. So they are experts. And so what I want to say is that despite the fact that the opposition is unable to come together to have a united front, the multiplicity of the political parties is also another weakness. Because each political party wants to show how strong they are. Nobody wants to listen to the other person. My prof here owns a party. Madam here belongs to a political party. The historian there belongs to a political party. I belong to a political party. You can see there are already 4 political parties here. If we were talking political parties, there would have been trouble here, because everybody want to till the pullover to his own body,
Yes.
to get warm than the other person. But now that we are talking about national interest, very
Reconstruction.
little political interest is shown up. Though my brother is still fighting hard to introduce the interest of his political party. But I want to think that we Cameroonians, if we are complaining that the laws are not good, the way things are moving in the country, some people are not comfortable, Anglophones are crying.
Okay.
Likewise, Francophones are also complaining.
Sure.
Because if you go into the other regions and see what is happening there, you will understand that we have too many problems everywhere in Cameroon. It is not because that of the English-speaking Cameroonians is on the table and everybody is only looking at
reason why we took this back to
and
history.
southwest.
We are not the same.
Permit me,
Our
madam,
background is different.
Permit me, madam. Permit me.
That's
I
again
am
another form of assimilation.
Permit me.
What
Permit
you
me,
just
madam.
said.
No, it is a CPDM strategy to always
Always assimilate. That's
Even
another
on TV
form of
platforms.
assimilation.
I am talking with
You were talking
gentlemen
in
and
a
ladies.
very honest
Can
and
we-
funny
can
manner.
we-
Like when you say all other Cameroonians can complain,
I am
it's like
saying
these
that-
ones
Can-
who are the
listen,
sociopolitical, where the
madam.
Northwest and Southwest have no genuine
problem
reasons
of the
to what they are.
Anglophones-
We have a historical, we are anchored on history.
Okay.
These are two
That-
people who came together.
I
We
believe
are-
you
don't
have
assimilate onto the other regions.
Nobody is undermining the situation that is going on in the northwest and southwest, but we are saying that even at that, other regions also still have their own.
Nobody has
No,
said
no, no,
that.
no.
Leave
See,
it at
I'm not talking.
that.
No, excuse me.
Honorable, you are talking exactly as a citizen,
Yes,
and that is where the problem lies. Because you are taking the to a problem of a region. Yes, it's not a problem. It's not a generalized problem. The problem of the Anglophone history is Anglophone history. It's Anglophone history. That's the where the problem lies, and that's where we should teach other Cameroonians. You are intellectuals that you are saying that you are bringing up. That is where they have failed, because they want to remain in power, and because they want to make Cameroon continue living in misery
And believing in the lies.
believing in the lies. That is why
I thought that
all of us are gentlemen.
I didn't interrupt
Who is
you.
the hair responsible?
I suffer to listen to you talk.
We are not in a
I
classroom.
suffer to listen to you talk.
I'm not in a classroom where you just come and suddenly assimilate me and
Honorable.
Excuse
You cannot use the Anglophones to others.
I want
other regions.
I am saying
That is where the problem electoral
I voted you.
this is the arrogance in the opposition.
Arrogance in
You see,
Cameroonians,
this is the
in
arrogance.
Cameroonian, southern
You
Cameroonian.
cannot suffer to listen
What is
to
arrogance? No, what is arrogance? You assimilate
and madam, I want to make mention here that Anglophones are, most Anglophones are those that made what is happening to be happening today.
Yes.
in the Anglophone.
Where they are.
I want to tell you that my development here.
I said you were telling me that you did.
I made television.
Topic is not about Anglophone.
I made television to understand
me, sir.
that they sidelined all the federalists and took ST million
Oh my goodness.
against the Anglophones, and that is where we are today. But out of his frustrations, because he was not giving, because in 1979 they modified the constitution, he became frustrated and he finally
My
joined.
brother, it shouldn't be a
Just
soft
before that,
man.
no, those are historical facts. I am responsible for what I say as a historian. And that is what is happening. The Anglophones who are today in power, like Honorable, that is what they are doing, not saying the truth to solve the problems in Cameroon. So we cannot allow that to pass.
Say the problem. Say the truth and
There is
dash out here.
there is no truth that have not been said.
Okay.
I think we were talking about national unity and integration in
Yes.
Cameroon. And I was saying that unlike we have people from the west, the center, who are living in the northwest, though the crisis have actually pushed out so many people from the northwest and the southwest. If you come in the center, you find people from the center, people from the west, people from the north. You go to all the regions, you will find
Cameroonians.
and they are living in peace. And now I come back to the problems that are affecting us. I started by saying that political parties are going to cause more problems than that we even met.
Politicians.
In the areas.
Say politicians
like you.
We say politicians like you.
Permit me, sir.
What you are saying is we are in an intellectual debate and to edify the televiewers. It is a matter of politicians, not political parties. Say politicians.
And this is what the field head of the table. That's why we have found a solution.
That's why we have found a solution. So the matter of politicians, every part of Cameroon has the same problems. But why are they complaining?
They have their own problems.
Or the separatist fighters have went and killed somebody because he's not conformed. Because of the francophone. Ambazonians don't kill francophones.
I don't know what they call Ambazonia. I don't know what they call Ambazonia.
Ambazonians don't kill francophones. We don't have a problem of living together. We don't have a problem of living together. We have a problem of intellectuals. It's always politicians and intellectuals like what we are seeing on the platform.
Thank you, gentlemen. Let me just get a single solution from Professor Tita before we get on the hook. Just a solution to living together in one word.
I think as far as this nation is concerned, we are living together.
Okay.
And all is fine.
There's no need to seek for any solution because we are already living together.
There are some little things that we can rectify.
Okay.
But it doesn't mean that we should go and create more wounds in a nation. Rather, we should not go and create more wounds in a nation.
Thank you.
Because what we are doing, we are creating more wounds in a nation. Since multipartism came in, we are creating more wounds in a nation.
Thank you so much, Professor Tita Samuel. In just a couple of seconds, let's get on the hook. And
the change you want
you are going to face Honorable Ma'am. Is the hook before we part ways? And the hook is through Ma'am Moma B. Yvonne. I'm receiving you for the first time. It's a trap question, just a single trap question you need to pose to the other protagonists. So today you shall be facing Honorable Ojambeng Stephen Andong. You have the floor for the lone question of the evening, and he needs to give you a direct answer so that we part ways.
So if you had the ears of the President of the Republic to propose a solution to the ongoing crisis in Cameroon, what will you tell him?
Thank you, Madam. The first thing I will tell the President is that there should be a genuine dialogue. There should be a genuine dialogue. There should be a proper consultation. Open up so that Cameroonians can be able to send forth their contributions, which will constitute to a dialogue that will bring forever a lasting peace in Cameroon.
Okay. You have the floor for your question too, Mamuma.
Yes. Madam, I am happy to be here with you, and I know you are in charge of you are a militant of the SDF, the Social Democratic Front.
More known as an activist.
An activist. But I will prefer to ask you a political question, like somebody who militates in the political party. That the SDF from time immemorial has been known as the main opposition party. Of recent past, we've discovered that the SDF is going backward. What can you tell Cameroon that has been the frustration of the SDF to have performed so poorly during the presidential election?
Wow. Interesting question from one who pretends to have been voted from the Northwest region. You cannot go and dance in somebody's yard when your own backyard is in trouble. The SDF has as its base the Northwest and Southwest. No elections took place there. So if of the 3 million Cameroonians who genuinely wanted to go to vote, we have 1 million abstentions from there, I don't know what he calls going backwards. The status quo is maintained because elections didn't take place. They used armored cars to go for elections. Is that what we call elections? if anybody is out there who genuinely, truly, and freely went out and casted their votes, come back to me and we'll come back to this debate.
Thank you so much, Honorable Ojambeng Stephen Andong, our civil engineer with CPD and political affiliation, member of the Northwest Regional Assembly, Prince Pierre Jaja of the Popular Action Party, president of the Yaoundé Seat Branch, educationist and historian. Thanks a lot for passing by. Professor Tito Samuel Forna, national chairman of the CPP, member of G20 and initiator of NUSOCAM for Peace, Unity in Cameroon. And the last but not the least, the Iron Lady on set we had here with our pleasure. Thanks a lot for being part of us, ma'am. You are Momo B. Yvonne, National Secretary for Political Education and Training of the Social Democratic Front, social entrepreneur and co-founder of the network More Women in Politics. Thanks a lot. You out there, you participated. No time to read all your messages. We say have a blessed night. We'll meet you again Tuesday next week, same time, same vessel. The rebroadcast is on Sunday, 8 a.m.